On numbers 5 and 6, they want us to find the product. So remember that when you are multiplying the product of, or finding the product of two matrices, the inside numbers dimensions have to match and the outside dimensions are going to be what you left over with. So I've got a giant 2 by 2 and that will result in my answer of a 2 by 2. And likewise on number 6, I have a 3 by 2 multiplied by a 2 by 2. So the result will be a 3 by 2. So here's how you do it. So remember we do row 1 with column 1. So I take 3 times negative 2 and I get negative 6. And then I take a 1 times a 5 and I get a 5. And then negative 6 plus a 5 is going to give me a negative 1. So that goes my first entry. Okay, I take 3 times 1. That's the number 3. I take 1 times the number negative 2. That's negative 2. 3 minus 2 is the number 1. Then I take negative 2 times a negative 2, that's a number 4. Then I take negative 2 times a 5, and that's the number 20. Oh, sorry, it was 4 times the 5. It gives me the 20. My bad. That number is going to be 24. And then last one here. So I take a negative 2 times the 1, which is a negative 2. And I take 4 times the negative 2, which is a negative 8. Add those together and I get a negative 10. So here's the correct answer for that one. And similarly on number 6, I do the exact same thing. So I take 1 times the 1, that's the number 1. Then I take 2 times the number negative 1, which is a negative 2. Add those together and I get a negative 1. 1 times the 2 is a 2. 2 times the 3 is the 6. Add those together and you get the number 8. Row 2. 0 times who cares is going to be 0. And then 3 times the negative 3 is a negative 3. So that number is a negative 3. Okay. 0 times the 2 is again a 0. Who cares? And then 3 times 3 is going to give me a 9. So 9 is going to go there. And then lastly, 4 times the 1 gives me a 4. And then 5 times negative 1 is a negative 5. That's a value of negative 1. And then 4 times the 2 gives me 8. And then 5 and 3 make 15. When I add those together, I get 23. So there's the final answer. And that's what we'd expect to see on the test.